What's going on, TWP fam? Welcome back to the channel. How you been? If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Just an average person trying to go from a 9 to 5 to doing the things that I want to do when I want to do it, how I want to do it, and not have to check my bank account every time I do it. If that's something you're interested in, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's get into today's video. So far, 2 videos ago, I basically showed you how I learned something on Tuesday, and yeah, like I learned really what displacement meant, and market structure shifts. I would say that the hiccup I'm having right now is that there's so many different things and there's so many different names for it, but I'm starting to realize that it might mean the same thing. And I know it might be clickbait, because you see that I made $2,700 today, but this is my practice account. Don't worry, I'm gonna show you my actual account in a minute. Practice is great because that means I can repeat it, and I did actually get a win today in my live account. This is my 50K combine, first green day after 3 days of sadness. So yeah, let's just dive into today. What trade did I take and how did I end up with $2,000 on my practice account and only $40 on my real one? Well, I can answer that one right now. I only made $40 on my real one because, well, there's a couple of reasons. If you could see the entire month, your girl is down bad, right? I'm down $958 for the month, but before that, it was $998 for the month. And TopStep, I joined the 50K combine, so I'm only allowed to risk $2,000. If I lose the $2,000, I break a rule, and I end up having to reset my account. So your girl had to take a step back and lower my contract sizes. So before, you could see all the way up until yesterday, you could see that the losses were pretty gigantic. So instead of doing 5 micros, I dropped it down to just doing 1 micro a day until I get myself a little bit away from drawdown. So today was a successful win, but I gotta be honest, it was not from what I learned on Tuesday. Well, it kind of sort of was, but I also saw a different video yesterday. I saw I don't know how to break it down. Essentially, what I taught you all on Tuesday is what I've learned so far, and I'll be the first one to tell you, I'll find a different YouTuber teacher until I find the right one that works for me. And on Tuesday, I understood everything that the YouTuber was talking about, but I didn't really know how to apply it. So I didn't really know when to get in, the trade. So that was another hiccup in the road for me. Last night, I found a video where it was 4 easy steps, and, they made it make sense. So, and not only did they make it make sense, but they also showed you how to enter. So before I show you the chart, I'm going to explain to you what they taught, so that way we're on the same page. The whole point of this channel is to document my journey from going from my 9 to 5 to doing my dreams and aspirations on my own time. And I would like to do that with the help of becoming a profitable day trader. So I definitely want to make sure that I'm giving my day by day when I can, to show you that it is possible that anybody can change their life around if they actually commit to doing what they want to do. But here, I've been having a little bit of fun with Procreate, of drawing my little skits and stuff like that. So don't mind my drawings. We're here to get the business. We're here to make some money. So the 4 steps are: find the direction, wait for break of structure, that's what BOS stands for, wait for it to tap into your zone, and then enter the trade. And, I'm a pretty quick learner, so I understood the 4 steps. However, I'm a visual learner, so I needed to see them actually put it into action, get the charts, and do some back testing. So find direction. What does direction mean? So the market moves up, the market moves down. It makes higher highs and higher lows, lower highs and lower lows. And essentially, if it's making higher highs and higher lows, that's an uptrend. If it's making lower highs and lower lows, that is a downtrend. So I'll even draw it real quick right here. Let me see. So an uptrend would be like this. Hold on, I'm messing up here. I didn't think I was going to add that in to this, but it's fine. All right, so an uptrend would be this, where it's making higher highs and higher lows. A downtrend would be this, where it goes down, makes a peak, down, but then each peak is lower than the other. So that's making lower highs and lower lows. And that's all the market consists of. Sometimes you'll have consolidation where it's not really moving anywhere. It's just going from one price to the next price, and it's not really breaking any structure. So find the direction that the market is going in. And the way they made it make sense to me was find the direction that the market is going in on the chart that you're looking at. And on Tuesday, I was looking at the 4-hour time frame because, I kept telling myself I think I do better with higher time frames and, kind of just setting and forgetting, going to bed and stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, I don't think the 4-hour time frame really moves how I needed to move to make the structure. So I started to play with it last night when I learned this video. I watched this video. It does work on the 1 hour, but then that comes into your patience level and how long are you willing to look at the charts to, see the move happen. Then I went down to the 15-minute and the 5-minute. And so far, I think I really like the 5-minute and the 15-minute area for this strategy. I think, my attention span and sitting on my hands works a little bit better with the 5-minute chart. So that's where I took the trade today. So find direction on the chart that you're looking at. Yes, it can all be one actual stock, it can all be one future. So my future is NASDAQ, right? But if I'm looking on the 4-hour chart, the 4-hour chart could say it's an uptrend, but the 5-hour chart, the 5-minute chart could say that it's a downtrend. So it really just depends on what chart you're going to trade on. That's the most important part. So once you figure out your direction, and then for me, for the example, this is the 5-minute chart. Then you're going to wait for a break of structure. What is a break of structure? Well, if we go back to the higher highs and the higher lows, basically when it makes a higher high and a higher low, and it does not match with the previous higher high, well then it is clearly going upstairs. Same for downtrend, it's going downstairs. You're never at the same step, because how are you going to go up or downstairs if you're stepping at the same level each time? Okay, so in the downtrend example that I tried to draw out, we're looking for the most recent break of structure. So it would be that area right there. You can see that this candle broke the structure. It came down. Then we're going to find where that last peak was, and we're going to draw a box around it. That's going to be our zone. That's where we get to number 3 for waiting for it to tap into the zone. So I think so far, majority of my losses have been because I've been trying to chase the move instead of waiting for the move to come to me. And, I'm speaking some real gems right here. I kept chasing the market, and that was not good, because the more you chase it, the more you're losing the money. So, so you create that zone box and you wait for it to come into that zone. If it doesn't come into that zone, well, then it's not your trade. If it goes past that zone, then it's not your trade. You have to wait until it taps and respects that zone and then comes back out of that zone. And once it taps into that zone and it's starting to come back and you can verify that it's coming out, that's when you want to get into the trade. You're going to put your stop loss a little bit above the zone, because the whole zone can be respected, like it can be tapped into. So just to clarify, making sure that you stay alive long enough to see it through, you just want to place your stop loss a little bit higher or lower for your stop loss. And then your take profit, you would always look to the left and see where the last highest peak was, and you want to aim for that. Sometimes you could do a 1-to-1 risk to reward or a 2-to-1. And so yeah. Then you got an uptrend example where I drew it a little bit differently, so that way you can see an example where it breaks the structure, it comes back down, but it actually taps into the zone, like it's actually in the zone. And you wouldn't get in at that red candle in the zone. You will wait for the green candle as a signal that, hey, it might continue to the upside. That's where you would enter. You would still put your stop loss a little bit below the zone, and then you would put your take profit by looking to the left, looking at the next price level that you would believe market is going to go to. And that would either be a 1-to-1 or a 2-to-1 risk to reward. Sometimes it's a lot higher, but we're not trying to be greedy here. We're just trying to understand the process. So when don't you enter? You don't enter if it breaks through your zone in the opposite direction. If the price did not break structure, so like if it's consolidating, and if it does not tap into your zone, you always just want to be patient. So 2 videos ago, I talked about how like I feel like I'm at the boring stage in trading because it's starting to make sense to me now. I'm not as hyper as I used to be when I first started this in March, because in March I was definitely gambling, didn't have a strategy, didn't have a plan, and honestly did not know what I was looking at. I understood a little bit, but I never took the time to actually sit down and learn it. So now like lately I've actually taken the time because I really want to achieve my goals, and it's just time to really get serious, and this is very much possible. You saw on my practice account I made $2,000. The reason I didn't make that much on my live one was because the greatest thing about TopStep, and you can see that I locked myself out already just so I wouldn't trade while I was making the video. TopStep allows you to lock yourself out just so you're not making foolish trades when there is no trade. And that was one of like my biggest things. I was making trades that weren't there. I was trying to make something out of nothing, and well, I got stopped out every single time because you can't make something out of nothing if there's nothing there. The market is not that hard. You really just have to be patient. It's really more so a mental thing. It's you versus you when it comes to the market. And yeah, like I don't know. Did I really crack the code? I feel like I have. But yeah, I'm just going to show you guys where I took the trade on my actual account. You can see, let's make it smaller. So I called it buy side liquidity. I called it buy side liquidity. I was waiting for a break of structure. So, I mean, I'll change it just so you can see. This was my break of structure. So it broke through, right? And then I drew a box at the most recent peak area, which would have been this area right here. And then I waited for it to come back into this zone. So you can see the little blue arrow at the bottom. That's where I got in at the trade. And unfortunately, what ended up happening was I'm still having some trust issues when it comes to trusting my theories and stuff. So what ended up happening was I got into it right here when that green candle started. I had my stop loss right here, and I think I had my thing all the way, I want to say it was a 2-to-1 that I was looking for. Yeah, it was a 2-to-1. And essentially what ended up happening was as the market pushed up, I moved my stop loss to the break of structure line, and it immediately got tapped into, and so I missed out on the full move of the 2-to-1. And it really sucks because like I saw it play out on my practice account as well, and I think I made 700 on that trade when I did finally make that trade. So no, I made 900. So I made $922.50 on that trade. That 1800, that lockout from earlier, when the market opened at 9:30, I told you guys yesterday, it is not advised to trade at that time if you're, a beginner, or if, like, for me, I was trying to get ready for work, so I didn't really have time to look for any setups or anything like that. But by the time I got to work, I think it was around 10, I think it'll actually tell me, it was either 10 or 11 o'clock that I got into that trade. It was 10:30, it was 10:34, and I had locked myself out until 11:20. And you can see it on the screen. Like, I got in at 10:34 a.m. I saw the setup, and I held that for 45 minutes, and the market was flying. And yeah, like, FOMO is definitely a huge thing that I'm still, trying to be okay with. That's why I'll always just go into my practice account and make all the crazy FOMO trades in there. So, like, you can see on the calendar itself, 30 trades, 9 trades, 8 trades. But then you'll see on my actual combine, it's a little bit more disciplined, a little bit more just simplistic. So, like, 1 trade, 2 trades, not really trying to do outrageous amounts of trades. So yeah, not too much on today's video. I hope that, like, I'm sharing all these gems, and I'm hoping that you're understanding it. And, if you're not, and I'm literally offering it for free, if you're not taking the time to reach out to me and ask me, then, I mean, at that point, that's kind of on you. So as of right now, I'm locked out for another hour and 3 minutes. I'm probably gonna go to bed. The market isn't truly moving in my direction. It's not really moving in any direction. I would say that it's doing a down trend for the moment. So, like, if I was going to trade tonight, I would need to see a break of structure up here. This is the last recent high. So be a break of structure here. Or if it's going to do a change of character, which basically means go down to the downside, honestly, I would have to see it come all the way back down here. But as of right now, I think we're just consolidating because the market did finally move from that fair value gap, that 4-hour fair value gap that we've been stuck in for like this entire week. So yeah, we're just gonna let it play out. And it feels good to finally understand something that is easily attainable. And yeah. Drop a comment down below if there's something that you would like me to talk about to help you. I don't mind helping. This stuff is for the free, and I'm learning as well. So until the next one.